Hello, everyone. I'm Rex Galbraith. I am a sales leader here at Consensus, and I want to welcome you to this session of ConsensusCON titled Go Ahead, Create Content, Now What? With Amy Gordon, who is the Director of Global Virtual Experience on the content team at SAP. As you've heard, if you've been listening to sessions before, I'm going to have some items to go over, and then we'll dive right into this. So quickly, ConsensusCON is focused on helping our customers and future customers scale pre-sales by getting the most out of Consensus demo automation. Our presenter lineup includes some of the top accounts as well as industry experts. So quickly, if you could just help me out, if you could raise your hand if you can hear the audio. Thank you, that was quick. And then put that back down. And if you could raise them again, if you can see the slide. Great, okay, we are good to go. Just a few other things. We are happy to announce our newly created forum to continue to help build our user community and give you a space to communicate with one another, discuss best practices, and much more. We will also be starting a monthly webinar series beginning in December to continue to provide resources for our user base. We are recording this session and they will be made available for those who weren't able to attend or who would like to revisit the session. There will be a Q&A session after the presentation is finished. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A or the chat. I will be collecting those and we'll address them at the end, and if it's relevant, we'll address it during the presentation. Just to give you some context who Amy is, I get to work with her. She's great. She has a lot of experience and a lot that she brings to the table, so I'm really excited that she'll be going over this presentation today. Amy leads the global team responsible for the pre-sales digital content strategy and execution at SAP. She has over 15 years working with customers to help them understand how they can unlock the value of SAP. Using that experience, she and her team have created a templatized, process-driven model to create and evaluate performance of reusable demo content. And today, Amy will help you make the jump from live demos to effectively utilizing video content, from effective writing and easy production. Amy explains the importance and simplicity of these crucial methodologies. So without any delay, Amy, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Rex. Let's see, did I get it right? I didn't, did I?
It looks like it's doing its thing.
There we go.
There we go. I see it now.
Can you see? Okay, yeah. Good. There was a little bit of a delay there. Scared me for a moment. We did practice this beforehand, guys. So thank you, Rex, and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining this session. Who am I and why am I here? I'm a pre-sales veteran. It's my professional passion. I love being in front of customers. My specialty is the apparel and footwear and retail industries. That's where I grew up. Accounting is one of the things that I really think has given me a foundation for success, as the debits are always on one side and the credits are always on the other. And those two things drive business process and value. And I'm a big supporter of making sure you're always communicating value. Why is this important to the person watching the video? Or why is this important to the company that pays the person to watch this content to make a software evaluation? And partnering, it's all about not being the smartest person in the room and working with those that know something that you don't know. It provides you the ability to scale and multiply. So when I was asked or told, Amy, go ahead, create content, I said, holy cow, wow, where do I even start? And for those of you, I'm not a big farm person. However, our friends have a farm, and this is a special type of cow. I called it the Mickey Mouse cow, but I thought it was really cute. And this was kind of how I felt. How are we going to do this? Where do we start? SAP is a large company with a lot of software. And I was looking at this from a perspective of how do I do this across all of SAP and do this efficiently? So really where I started, and it was a journey. It was last May. I got the please figure this demo video thing out. It wasn't quite that informal, but I'll paraphrase a bit. And we went ahead and we tried some things out. We failed. We kept socializing, and it's kind of like learning how to walk in heels. I still haven't learned how to do it. It's an art, and it takes a lot of practice. So we spent a lot of time trying. And what came out of that is we really needed to scale with templates, because having a repeatable process made it very easy to multiply and duplicate and find others to create content so that we could put it all together a lot like Legos. And we're constantly creating, learning, and refining. Nothing's ever perfect and nothing is ever done. But there is a point where you need to put a stake in the ground and say, this is done, this is good, let's go. We can do another revision at a later date if we need to. And then from my first manager right out of college, Brenda Noseworthy, she said, you can't manage what you can't measure. So every day we are measuring, what have we created? How is it performing? Are there any problems in our creation pipeline? So those are my 4 foundations of where we went and how we got where we are today. So with a try, fail, and socialize and win, for 1 to 2 months, we did freestyle. As a pre-sales veteran, and seriously, it's the best job ever in my mind. You can think on your feet, improvise. Not everybody can do that. And not everybody follows the same structure or communicates value. We always run into the trap of feature function. I'm sure you guys have seen it before. It's a struggle. It's a cool new feature, but why do we care about it? So with the freestyle, it was easy, right? And it was scalable. We could create videos very quickly because we were doing a recording, talking, done, do a little post-production, but then the quality wasn't the same and they didn't have the same flow. So they looked like they were created by different people. So we went and really thought about this. And we also asked real stakeholders, so people that would be sending the videos. So I don't send videos out. I'm not customer facing at this time. So we asked salespeople, we asked leaders, share these videos and get feedback. I reached into my pocket and sent a couple to customers, said, what do you think of these? And we looked at those metrics to say what works, what doesn't work. We got opinions. They're like noses, everyone's got one. And we really wove that into our structure. And then a big part was we needed to create the story, but building a story and putting those videos together for the person that you know is going to send the video. And the first couple ones are the hardest. And we keep tweaking it until we get it right. And then once we got it right, it was very easy to multiply. It's not the field of dreams. If you build it, they are not going to come. No one is waiting for this library, even though everyone says they want demo videos. They're not all just going to show up. It's going to be continually prodding, saying, what do you need? What content do you want? Have you used this? I built this for you. Have you used it? It doesn't look like you've used it. Why haven't you used it? So always to continue to build, but then make sure the content's being used. And as a pre-sales person, I don't like templates, never have, but I've grown to love them because templates actually increase the flexibility and help us scale. If we know that you need an intro, you need a benefit, you need a demo, whatever the template format is, somebody can follow that methodology as opposed to write a script for a 2-minute video. That's very open-ended. And at SAP we have a lot of different solutions and we don't all come together in one meeting and review stuff. So there's a lot of silos. So by using templates, we're able to make sure that something that's covering human resources or finance or customer experience or supply chain, they all look the same and they have the same flow. So our customers can really feel that it is one SAP. So templates have helped tremendously. I am a supporter of them. Our templates, we use Word because we are writing, which helps us also manage word counts and so forth. When we first started, we started with templates. Word templates. So you just go ahead and start typing or writing. And we found that very quickly, folks were having a hard time putting that down to paper. And so we started with storyboarding using a tool called Mural, where we have these boards and we ask questions. It's similar to the whiteboard that I have in my office, but you can't really come to my house every day or my office and work on my whiteboard. So we have these tools to help get the whole story laid out before you start writing. And excuse me, when it comes to production, recording, making it super easy to make the videos, do editing in the videos, intros, outros, PowerPoint, just keep it super simple. So when we think about production, it's keep it silly, simple, keep it to PowerPoint level skills, and it'll all work itself out. That is probably the easiest part to tackle. But don't over-invent it and don't overproduce the videos. They need to be authentic. In some cases, we use professional voiceover just for clarity, but the scripts are real. They're written by pre-sales folks who are speaking the software language, and that's really important. And sometimes you'll hear my voice on a voiceover. Not the best, but you know what? In a pinch, I will do a voiceover. But as we go through in the creation process, so the storyboards, how are these going to work together? How are these videos going to come together? Particularly when you think about the consensus demos with the single, standard, and advanced, how are these going to flow together? Are they meant to be like this? You really want to work on those boards and get everything aligned and understand the metrics and understand what's working for your customers and what's not. And what's not, it's okay. It isn't retirement what everybody wants. Sometimes some videos want to be retired, and that's okay. It has a life cycle. Oftentimes folks like to hold on to things for a long time because a lot of time was invested in the video. But that's not needed. It's okay to retire. And we share what's new this week, what's top performing, what video is the best video this week, and who's really making a success out of it. So before you do anything, before you start writing, thinking, who is going to watch the video? How are they going to watch it? Are they watching on their computer? Or are they watching it on their phone? When in the sales cycle are they going to watch it? And what action do you want to come out of it? Those are things that you really want to think about before you're creating a video. When, who, how, what, where, keep adding these questions. Make sure you have that use case defined. It'll make it so much easier to create as well as get used. So with a storyboarding template, this is an example of what we do for, how do you get your thoughts in order? So this would be if you came to my house, we would do a whiteboard session like this, identifying the steps in your video, mapping them, figuring out what the benefits are, and figuring out what the impact is. So we use something called FBI, feature benefit impact. You got to get to the impact, and that's the real value to the customer. And going through this process of whether it's on a whiteboard or in Mural or on the back of a napkin, this needs to be done before any writing is accomplished, or any writing is even started, because you need this background, you need this foundation. Otherwise, you'll spend a lot of time rewriting things, which isn't really fun. So those are the basics that when I think about creating content, how we went about it. But hold your horses, there's more. You can't, remember what my first boss told me? You need to manage. You need to measure in order to manage. When you're working to create content, what content do you need? And this will vary based on your organization size. You put down a map. What do you need? What solutions do you have? Where is the, where can you get the biggest bang for the buck? Where can, do you have a new solution coming out? Should you start there? Should you start with a new release? What's your strategy? And identify, okay, our goal is to create 5 videos. Our goal is to create 1,000 videos. What does that look like? And what type of videos are they? So in my world, I focus on demo videos. So it is mostly software. 70+% of the time in the video is full screen software. Now we use other content, customer success stories, marketing videos, but I'm in the demo video realm. So what do we need to do, excuse me, for this piece? And then for those that are helping to create this content, because it's not just our team, it's an effort of engaging pre-sales, engaging our product folks, our marketing folks to provide their feedback, their spin on things. So reward the participation in the content creation, because it does take time away from our regular jobs. Look at the coverage. If I'm looking at a portfolio, for example, finance, how much is covered in demo videos? Could I say I could show a customer our software in finance just using demo videos today? Understand that it's a tough metric to be comfortable and say yes to. And also know that less is more. One of the things, and that we've seen it, it's hard to find stuff. When you have a lot of stuff, it's hard to find stuff. So it's okay to retire. And I've said this a couple times. Everyone wants to retire, right? Retire, enjoy the good life. It's okay to say this video has lived its cycle. It's ready to go. And then we also look at a performance metric. If a video is getting a lot of plays and it was created for reusable, shouldn't that person that participated in the creation of it be recognized, so that their video perhaps was brought in on several deals? And tracking that and understanding, hey, this person actually, without even knowing it, participated in 100 deals, and making sure that people are recognized for that. And from a content creation perspective, a couple of the metrics that we look at. So how is our participation by region? Which regions are actively working, which regions have very little? And we have different flavors for this, because of course, the further you get away from, most of the times at SAP, we develop first in English and then work on content in other languages. So there's obviously always a big push from North America for native English speakers to create content. So that's why you see a lot of global in North America in those areas, but all regions do participate. And then we look at the content, how many hours are being viewed per month, or minutes, across an area, a section of videos. I don't even remember where I pulled this what this filter was, but how many hours of content is being viewed? And then, of course, taking that down, we go all the way down to the individual video. But then also looking from a curation standpoint, how old is a video? And is it still, so if it's over 2 years old, so thinking down the road, if it's over 2 years old, is it still getting plays? If it is, great. If it's not, it's time to retire. So, and what is that engagement? Are people watching the video? This is an important metric to look at. How long are they watching the video? Are they only getting to 10% in? There's something wrong with the video. It's got the wrong title, or it's really bad. If they're getting to 99%, that's amazing. Something's right about that video. Figure it out and make more of those. Anything over 50% is considered really good when it comes to videos. I strive for anything over 75%. So that's where we're trying to go, and to keep people engaged in the content. So it's about re-engaging and reconnecting with the user. Reward the senders. Who had the highest demo view rate? Who created the most demo boards? Recognize these folks and look at what content they're sending and find those successes. In a perfect world, I think we'd go and talk about where this demo was used related to this opportunity and this deal closed. That's the ideal scenario to see where this content's used and how it's directly impacted a sales cycle. The creators, those are the folks that I work mostly with. And we like to reward them and recognize them. Reward's not always monetary. Reward is, here's your name in lights. It goes a long way at SAP. What was the overall, the best video? What do we consider the best? It's the highest total view time for the whatever period we're looking at. The highest number of unique viewers. So that's, again, IP addresses perhaps. The best engagement rating. So that was what I talked about, is the, did they watch it 99% of the way there? If they did, that's a really great video. Highest number of plays. So taking all those together, that's what equates the best video. And we reward those creators. And then overall, again, you can't just reward one, right? We do this across lines of business and industry, but then we also look at the top video for the total view time, because they may be different, right? A long video, I don't recommend anything longer than 7 minutes, but we know the shorter the videos are earlier in the sales cycle, the longer the videos are later in the sales cycle. But sometimes the total view time will be a lot longer because it's naturally a longer video. So looking at the view time, the best engagement ranking, number of plays, all important things to measure in your videos. But overall, we want to create, while we work to create the content that is professional, we also want it authentic. So you want to make it real. It's not overproduced. Is it perfect? It's pretty darn close, but it's real, authentic. And it comes from people that know the software. And we're always striving for that. We don't always want the perfect commercial to show us real life software. So I think that's all I've got. My name is Amy Gordon. I'd like to open it up for questions. And that in the picture, that's my husband and my daughter. We like to go skiing every once in a while. That's one of our passions. Hopefully we'll be able to make it out west to ski in the coming year.
Well, thank you, Amy. That really good content, really good information. We do have some questions that have come up, if you can answer those for us.
Sure thing.
So the first one that came up, and I'll try to tackle these in order. You mentioned failure. When you see the content you have out isn't working, how long should you wait till you scrap it and try something else?
That's a great question. We're always trying new things. So we look at looking at some videos. While they may not get high play rates and they're not being used, there might be two things. The video might be bad or nobody knows about it. So before you scrap something, figure out why it's happening. Why is it not getting that movement before you scrap it? Do some work, because it does take time to create a video. But if you have done an awareness campaign and folks are aware of it and they're sending it and it's not being the drop off rate, they're like 10 seconds into it, they're dropping, something's wrong with it. Look at it and see if you can change your course.
Perfect. So next question that came up is, you mentioned if you build it, they will not come. What is the best next step after building it?
You need to promote it. You need to drive the awareness to the account execs. So Rex, if I build you a demo, I'm going to make sure you're sending it and having that engagement. And within within smaller organizations, it's probably a lot easier. But within SAP, we've built this. Now let's go ahead, and it needs to be leveraged and used throughout the organization.
Perfect. Thank
So
you.
awareness, you spend as much time promoting it as you do creating it.
Okay, so two questions similar, and I'll try to kind of combine them together. How much influence should BDRs and account executives play in the content that is going to be created?
They should have say. Are they the experts to create the content? Probably not, but they know what the customers are asking for. So if a customer is constantly asking for a demo of this topic, chances are the account exec has heard it and has had that ask. So I think they're a great source for the queue. And then you look to find the right person to help provide the content for that.
Great. So two more questions I think we'll have time for. The other question is, how do you build content differently when it's built with an automated demo versus a video that stands on its own?
That's a good question. So with the automated demos, I just want to level set, make sure as you're picking and prioritizing and deciding what topics you want to go with, the content will reorganize itself. You'll be able to pick a specific path, and the content will reorganize based on your priorities. So with that, the videos need to be built so they can all stand alone, because somebody may say this is not important or this is important. So you want to make sure as you're creating these that they are standalone enough, yet not too repetitive, that if somebody were to watch them all, they wouldn't be bored to tears with the repetitive same intros. And if you do a grabber, making sure it's not the same, that it's still different, so it doesn't become monotonous. So there's a little bit of, again, storyboarding is the best thing to do for those automated demos, and figure out, oh, if somebody picks this, how will they flow into this content? So a lot more art goes into that than you'd think.
Okay. So one more question just came in.
Sure thing.
How do they track organized name demos within some type of catalog? So I'm guessing the question is more, how do you organize them in a way that you can find them, sort them, random people from different teams can come in and get access to them?
Yeah, so I might, it'd be great if Alex could be on here. So, so within, and I can only speak to how we use Consensus. So within Consensus, we have different organizations, and those organizations only want to see the content that's relevant for them. So for example, procurement. The procurement team sees the demos that are associated with their organization, where customer experience only sees the content that's related to their organization. So it becomes much more manageable. And then we also have some quick guides when you're looking to sell this solution. This is the content that you should use, and this is the content that you should serve up in this particular order. So some tools outside of Consensus to help give direction to the demand generation folks and the AEs. The pre-sales folks are pretty good at finding what they want and sending it out. Do you think that answered the question, Rex?
I think so. And I appreciate that. So I thank everybody for asking the questions, the good dialogue. Really excited about this session. Content is such a big deal when it comes to demo automation and pre-sales in general. So really quick, as we close out here, I want to remind you there is one session left that is at 2:00 Mountain Time. It is with our founder and CEO here at Consensus, Garen Hess, where he will take you deep sea fishing. There is some meaning behind what deep sea means, and it is outlined in his book, Selling is Hard, Buying is Harder. And that's at 2:00. So please join that. That's the last one. He's going to cover some really good information there. And then to close this up, I just want to thank you, Amy, for taking the time out of your day. You're very busy. We've always appreciated working with you. You're a great partner, and a lot of the success that Consensus has had and SAP has had with demo automation is directly as a result of the content that Amy has managed or led groups to build, because consensus is only as good as the content you put into it. So Amy, any final closing thoughts or message you have before we close out here?
No, just thank you for the opportunity, and everyone, best of luck creating content. Again, a nice plan, and make sure you, like Brenda Noseworthy told me, can't manage what you can't measure, so measure along the way. And
thanks, Amy. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you at 2 o'clock. Bye.